AEW has some major surprises planned for AEW All Out, which is just a few days away. And I'm really excited for the pay-per-view because I think this is going to be the pay-per-view that really takes us into a new era for All Elite Wrestling. Now, with that being said, if you guys are new here and want more videos like this, go ahead and click that subscribe button and ring the bell. This way you can get notified on all of the latest content right here on Destination PW. And also, if you guys didn't know, we do have an official Discord server where you can actually communicate with other pro wrestling fans just like yourself for absolutely free. So go ahead and check out the link in the description down below. Now, why is AEW planning multiple surprises for All Out? Well, if you guys didn't know, AEW's plans were really ruined last year when COVID-19 was introduced to the world. And without having any political conversation on this channel, I do want to say that COVID-19 could in fact impact future plans for AEW. And we're going to get into more details later on in this video. But what is one of the big surprises that AEW has planned? Well, if you guys didn't know, previously on the channel, I did talk about Ruby Riot being released from WWE and going to AEW. It's been said almost immediately after she was released by the company that she would be signing a multiple year deal with AEW. However, nobody from AEW actually confirmed this news. Now, AEW has a tendency to stay silent on rumors just like this because AEW is looking for shock factor. And that even landed them in some trouble with TNT when Sting made his debut. Now, of course, with Ruby Riot, she's not necessarily a name that's going to move the needle in terms of mainstream coverage, but what she will do is have an awesome product with AEW. Here's what I mean. If you guys didn't know, Ruby Riot was somebody who has the ability to talk and have in-ring ability, but the problem is WWE just simply never committed to her. See, that's the problem in WWE. If you're not Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, or Sasha Banks, or Bayley, realistically, it's going to be really hard to make a name known for yourself in the women's division. We just saw Bianca Belair lose her women's championship match at SummerSlam in like 28 seconds. It's ridiculous. So here's the thing. Ruby Riot didn't work out in WWE, but it's being said that AEW is really high on bringing Ruby Riot into the company and making her an essential part of the women's division. And this makes a lot of sense considering the fact that Britt Baker doesn't necessarily have any legitimate competition ready for that spotlight. Now, the women's division has been lackluster, but AEW has admitted that in the past they did struggle, and it is something that they want to focus on. So it's actually being said that Ruby Riot will be one of the surprise entrants in the women's Casino Battle Royale match. And this is exciting news because this match has potential to be something pretty important for the company. See, whoever wins this match has an opportunity to make a name known for themselves. Somebody like Ruby Riot sporting a new look, new gimmick, and a little bit more creative freedom, that's the type of person you want to see succeed. I'm not saying that AEW's women's division is terrible, but if I'm going to be transparent with you guys, it needs a lot of work. Now, what way can you shake up your women's division than by bringing in Ruby Riot? It's also being said that Ruby Riot will in fact have a new name, which will be Ruby Soho, and it's being said that she will in fact debut in this match, which is exciting because I'm going to take it one step further and predict that Ruby Soho does in fact win this match and goes on to compete against Britt Baker for the title. And if I'm AEW and I want to make this women's division popular, I go all in and all out with Ruby Soho. Another scenario being planned for AEW is actually very interesting. If you guys didn't know, Adam Cole is no longer with the WWE, and it's actually quite shocking how he got there. See, what essentially happened was WWE's talent department totally forgot that Adam Cole's contract was expiring. The guy who was in charge of all of that was released from the company, and honestly, this is not the first time it's actually happened. It's been happening quite often. And so this is why everybody should expect Adam Cole at AEW All Out. If you guys didn't know, previously on DPW, I mentioned that there was a report going around that Adam Cole is in fact joining AEW, and it sounds like this seems to be accurate. Now, we don't know what's going to happen with Adam Cole, but if I may suggest, Adam Cole debuting at AEW All Out makes a lot of sense, especially when there's another debut that's being discussed, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Now, with Adam Cole leaving WWE with no non-compete clause, I think the best thing AEW can do to immediately make an impact is have Adam Cole confront MIRO immediately after he successfully defends his championship belt against Eddie Kingston. Adam Cole could very well tie into storylines with the Elite and the Young Bucks based on their previous experiences together prior to Adam Cole being in the WWE, but I think the best way to do this is by having Adam Cole eventually challenge for the TNT Championship Heavyweight belt, which I think will happen. And I truly believe that Adam Cole will go on to continue dominating the mid card, but not in the WWE. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, guys. When you look at WWE's main roster, their main event talent are always in rematches. Their title matches never really mean much. When you look at their mid card, it's the same thing. Now look at what AEW has done with the TNT Championship. This is something that a lot of people should get excited about, because immediately if Adam Cole were to become the TNT champion, you can now start putting him at the top of the card with guys like Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, and there are a lot of ways to tell that story. So yes, while we don't know 100% for sure if Adam Cole is showing up at All Out, it sounds like AEW is planning a surprise for Adam Cole, and what they do with him will be very interesting. I do look forward to seeing Adam Cole in AEW, and I do think it's going to be sweet. Now for our last scenario of the day, this is the big one. Guys, we talked a little bit about COVID-19 earlier in the video. Now if you didn't know, I did make a video on this previously. Daniel Bryan, aka Bryan Danielson, is expected to debut at AEW All Out, and the reason is because of COVID-19. Now look, AEW is in a very, very interesting situation. Because of the pandemic and all of this different BS that's happening with it, it sounds like AEW doesn't want to keep waiting and waiting and waiting. It sounds like AEW is ready to carry on the momentum by making major moves, major signings, and immediately put it on television. And the only way to do that is by making it happen a lot sooner. Now, if you guys didn't know, it was previously reported that Daniel Bryan did in fact sign a 3-year deal with AEW. And while AEW didn't actually confirm this news, Brian Alvarez did in fact confirm that Daniel Bryan will be at All Out. Now, this is something that we did talk about a few days ago before that report came out, but now it's being talked about even more, and this is exciting. Now, how is AEW going to turn off the show? How are they going to close the show? How are they going to get people excited for the very next episode of Dynamite? And that is with Daniel Bryan making a debut after Kenny Omega successfully defends his championship against Christian. But this time, Daniel Bryan's going to come out to a whole bunch of yes chants, and he will go face to face with Kenny Omega. I want to see this happen. AEW wants to see Daniel Bryan in the company, and the best part is we don't have to wait until the stadium show in New York. So AEW has 3 potential major debut surprises happening at this pay-per-view, and the best part is there are so many free agents, there are so many different ways that AEW can surprise the fans, and that is why I'm truly excited about this. So it's really up to you guys. What do you want to see at the show? I think all 3 of these scenarios make sense, and it's gonna get people excited. But I also have to be honest, there are a lot of people on the AEW roster that are not being used, and that's okay. You now have 2 shows. You got to start getting these talent on both shows and start showcasing some of the talent that is not constantly on TV, especially when guys like Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan show up. It's important that you don't lose guys like Sammy Guevara or Jungle Boy. And the great news is AEW is doing such a great job, this is not even a worry. If this was WWE, it would be, but since it's AEW, it's not. So it's simple as that, guys. I want to know what you think in the comment section down below. Let me know, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.